Hi, welcome to How to Draw an Apple. Here's some pictures I found in color. So just so you know, you don't have to do this in red or in color at all. We're gonna do it with a simple pencil. Really, it's about value. So even if you see this apple here and you see that it's all in black and white, we still know it's an apple. So that's kind of the point of what we're doing. We're gonna find the darks and the lights and see how it works out. So I took this version that is a photocopy, and then I added grid lines onto it. So this is one way that you can make sure that you have some accuracy with scale. You can make sure it's the right size, that the stem is in the right area, that the shine doesn't come down too far, and you can make sure that the bite shows up at the exact right place. So that's why grid lines are used. So whatever you would do here on your paper, you could draw very small grid lines here with a ruler, or you could make them much larger. Okay, so either way, so if you wanted to blow this apple up onto the wall, onto a mural, that's how you would do it. You would take each section with the grid lines and do it one at a time, whether it's making it extra large or extra small. Today we're just going to work on sketching on medium size. I don't know what this is. It'll be about, we'll make it about this big. Let's see. Okay, so in this grid, it's mostly dark here. So there's a little bit of white speckles right at the top. And I'm just going super light. And this grid, you can see this is where the bite is. So I'm going to say this is about one to about like a quarter of the way down, right? This is half. So this bite mark starts about, divide it in half in there. So that starts there. And then it comes over to about the halfway point right there. And so I'm going to go like that. And then it goes down to about here. It comes in on this nice mouth mark. Okay, and then down in this grid, would I say this is a full circle? No, it's a little oblong. It comes up to here, and then this little thing skips, and then it does not end at the very corner. See, so I go in there a little bit, mark it off, and then this one is only in this box. Oh, look at that. Oh, I messed up. So it has to come over here to here is more like what it looks like. Totally different. And then perspective is going to change everything, right? The way it looks. So this is kind of more an oval, squarish shape. Yeah. And then let's see, the square over here where this continues comes up, and it's about, looks like a planet, right? Comes out over here, leaves double the space here. So I'm going to go apple corner, and then down at the bottom corner piece, about halfway up is where it starts, but it's very dark. I can't even tell if it's flat or round. There's also underneath there's shadow that's very dark, and then the wood grain. So in each box, I'm just gonna map out what belongs in each one. Using my, what I call finger math, or pencil math, I can measure, okay, this is the same, a little bit longer than my pencil. Okay, so when I go and do the stem, I'm gonna do the same kind of thing. Sizing, if I want it to match. Over here, this is just this corner showing. And this has just this kind of, it's a little bit fatter at the top, and then it comes down Over here, it is such a small space occupied, right there. And then come across. And then this is such a tricky square. Let's see what's going on in there. So about about a third of the way up, I'm going to draw this line that comes across where the apple has a valley, right? And it does continue into this square, and you can see, oh, it's so beautiful the way it pops out. And then over here, all of this is going to be white. There's some shading that just shows that it goes that way, goes kind of north. So if you're using super exact measurements, like 1-to-1, like 1 centimeter to 1 foot, you would measure. Or if this apple, like I said, is most of my pencil point, let's say, then I would repeat it if I want it exactly the same. But here are these boxes I didn't measure, so I'm just going to kind of estimate division. So let's say, what did we say that this is about this is about a third of the way up. So then even if I'm using this smaller box, I can say it's about a third of the way up. So when I use fractions, it's a little bit easier to divide things because it's not an exact match. All right, here's my stem, which has some lightness on this side, and then it has very dark on that side, and it has this crazy stem thing going, and it goes, this is in the middle, so this is like fifths, like I think about 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, right? So I could divide it by 5. You could do it a little simpler. Again, a little bit bigger than my pencil tip. So let's see, it goes right up here. And don't forget, you can always use the eraser. Don't trip, potato chip. I'm not gonna add the darkness in yet. I'm just gonna work on the shape. And then as I go more and more, I'll add in the darkness. So there I have my approximate shape. And the next thing I'm going to do is start to add some shading. I'm going to go in super light and then get darker and darker as I go. I'm going to use lots of eraser for the white parts to take out the color. Okay, so just finishing up here, I did shading. I'm gonna go in and darken up the darkest spots. You know, now once I have this, I can really make it my own. So I'm gonna darken up where I want it to be super dark. And then I really like to use the eraser to clean up where it should be bright white. You can also use a white pencil. You don't have to use straight lines the whole time, right? You can start doing like figure 8s. You can do loopy loops. I love loopy loops. I like loopy loops. It just feels good on my hand. I just keep going and then get smaller or bigger where I want it to be. And then I can start to burnish it with my finger, right? Or some other medium. I can burnish it in different directions. And then I can go in with a nice eraser and really pick up that bright white. So that's what I want to do here. It's kind of shaped like a tornado. I think we're about done. Over here, I want to brighten this up. Really shiny from the light source, right? And I might do this more than one time, right? Sometimes it takes repeated movement. Go back in with my loopy loops. Smush, smush, smush. And then where do I want it even more dark? Maybe right in the middle. I like working with my pencil sideways. I hold it pretty far back so that I can just do a layer at a time, right? Continue to layer. So even though I didn't use any red, you can definitely tell it's an apple, right? Whoops. Mistakes and breaking rules are a huge part of art. I think constantly I'm thinking, oh, I didn't know I could do that, or I wasn't allowed to do that, right? So constantly breaking rules, expanding my boundaries, expanding rules of what I think art should be, and just kind of play in the sense that you don't know what's going to come out of it. So, yeah, just see what happens. Should be an art mantra, right? You're thinking, you're working. Let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see what happens if I do loopy loops. Let's see what happens if I do straight lines, right? All these things. Try it out. If you don't like it, it's art. You can erase it. You can throw away your paper. You can start all over. Okay, so it's not that serious. It's not that serious. It's more important that you're doing art, that you're showing up, that you're trying out new things, that you're being brave, and hopefully it'll come out good. But again, it takes about doing something about 10 to 20 times for me to really be happy with it. When it comes to art, I mean, just about everything's a practice, right? How many things are we born being really, really good at naturally? We have to practice. So just show up. All you gotta do is show up, play, see how it goes, keep working it, throw the paper in the trash, start a new one, do that 3 more times. Have fun. Hold the pencil far back, hold the pencil close up, use an eraser, see what happens with a white pencil. And yeah, thanks for watching.